Hi, I'm Kurniawati. In this video, we're going to talk about the Restoration period in English literature. Restoration period is one of the most important and interesting aspects of literature. It's the way that it both responds to and is effectively shaped by the political context in which it is written. Some of the best examples of this can be found in the Restoration period, which lasts from 1660 to around 1688. The name Restoration comes from the crowning of Charles II, which marked the restoration of the traditional English monarchy from the government following a short period of rule by a handful of republican government. At the heart of this literature is an attempt to come to terms with the political event that had occurred in previous decades. The writings of this time are both innovative and varied. The style and subject matter of the literature produced during the Restoration period span the spectrum from definitely religious and satirical and risque. In 1688, James II, Charles' brother, was removed from the throne, which many scholars used to mark the end of Restoration literature. Political context. In addition to conveniently providing the title for the period, the Restoration of Charles II has a particularly defining influence of the literature that was written in the second half of the 17th century. The political events of the previous decades result in tremendous turmoil for the English people. The division between those who support a more traditional form of government and those who want more republican form of government, like the strong tension throughout England. This tension led to the English Civil War, which lasted from 1642 to 1651 and was the particularly brutal experience for the many British people. The war culminates with the beheading of Charles I in 1649, and from 1649 to 1659 various forms of republican government rules Britain. In 1661, Charles II became king, thereby restoring the English monarchy. After Charles II died in 1685, his brother James II took over the throne. Afraid of the policies James II might introduce, William III removed James II in 1688 and took over the English throne in 1689. This act is often referred to as the Glorious Revolution because, relative to the violence of the English Civil War, the transfer of power was not very bloody. Some scholars use the displacement of James II as one place to mark the end of the Restoration period. Genres of Restoration English literature. Poetry. The Restoration poetry was most satirical, realistic, and written in heroic couplet. A heroic couplet is a traditional form for English poetry, commonly used in epic and narrative poetry, and consisting of rhyming pair of lines in iambic pentameter. Example: true with its natural to advantage, what of was thought but never so well expressed. John Dryden. In 1631, until 1700. John Dryden was the supreme master. John Dryden is so much the dominant figure of the Restoration poetry that the period is often referred to as the Age of Dryden. His poetry, like the rest of Restoration poetry, is realistic, satirical, and moderate. Is it written in the form of heroic couplet, rhyming pair of the iambic pentameter line, also the characteristic of epic poetry. Restoration poetry is considered moderate in the way it emphasizes precision or the economical use of language of word, keyword poetry, prose, and also dramas. Some of John Dryden poems. Number 1. Heroic stanza on the death of Cromwell. Number 2. Religio Lacy. Number 3. The Hind and the Panther. Next is drama. Restoration comedy. In English comedy written and performed in the Restoration period of 1660 until 1710. Comedy of manner is used as a synonym for this. After public stage performances were banned for 18 years by the Puritan regime, reopening of the theatre in 1660 marked a renaissance of English drama. Sexually explicit language was encouraged by King Charles II in 1660 until 1685, personally and by the rakish style of his court. The fact about the Restoration drama is that it is immoral. The dramatists did not criticize the accepted morality about gambling, drinking, love, leisure, generally, or try, like a dramatist of our own time, to work out their own view of character and conduct. Sir George Etheridge in 1633 until 1691. Number 1 is the play The Comical Review, or Love in Town, in 1664. Number 2 is She Would If She Could, in 1668. Number 3, The Man of the Moon, or Sir Flopping Flutter, in 1676. But the popular drama is The Man of Moon, or Sir Flopping Flutter. Next is William Conference in 1670 until 1729. Number 1 is Old Bachelor in 1693. Number 2 is The Double and Love for Love in 1695. Number 3 is The Way of the World in 1700. Number 4 is The Morning Bride in 1697. But the popular drama is Love for Love and The Way of the World. The next is William Wycherley in 1640 until 1716. The popular drama is Country Wife, The Plain Dealer, and Love in the Wood. Next, we'll move to prose restoration. The Restoration marked the beginning of modern prose. The spring or the spirit of common sense and of the critical temper of mind, the love of definiteness and clarity, and of the haters of the pedantic and obscure have contribute to the development of English prose. Number 1 is Thomas Hobbes in 1588 until 1679. Thomas Hobbes was an English philosopher considered to be one of the founders of modern political philosophy. Hobbes is the best known for his 1651 books Leviathan, in which he expounded an influential formulation of social contract theory. In addition to political philosophy, Hobbes contributed to the diverse array of other fields, including history, jurisprudence, geometry, the physics of gas, theology, and ethics, as well as philosophy in general. Pros other writers. Number 1 is John Locke. Number 2 is John Bryan. Number 3 is Samuel Pepys. And the last one is John Evelyn. So, lot of really interesting stuff, and even though it's long unit and it sounds terrible, it's way more interesting than you think they were. A lot of awful things happened during this time period, but the one positive that you can always take from major social people is that it changes people, and I think it makes them better. So that will be one of point focus that we will have to offer this unit. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.